or speak, just live stream for amber waves of chat. I don't know why I'm singing a patriotic song when I don't feel that in the least. How is everyone? How is everyone? I hope you're all doing good. I'm sorry that I'm singing here. I probably should stop. I assume you all are clapping for that. I hope everyone's doing well. Hello, everybody. Sorry, my brain's also off tonight because I just got a lot of information overload. I can't, and nothing I can even speak about. It's like, I got 2 pieces of really interesting information, just earlier, and so my brain just, like, right before coming on here, I'm like, what? I can't, how process, and I can't say it on stream, which just sucks, but, very excited about some stuff. Anyways, how is everyone? Hope you're all doing well. Happy Thanksgiving to my American live stream viewers, and hello to everyone else who isn't American and doesn't celebrate, you know, the colonization of indigenous land. So there you go. Oh, bye. But hello, Ellie. Hello, Gozer. Hello, Emily. Hello, Geek Filter. Good to see you. Truffle85, Miranda, David, Catherine, Miss Wicked Wolf, Jolly, Avery, Just Carowin. Who else did I miss? David, Davis Stud, Foxwing, Brian Gressett, Savory Lemon. See anyone else? Brian Abbott. Good to see everybody. I hope everyone's doing well. And yeah, everyone sees that Jetsia has a Christmas hat on. That's because something I'm going to be filming for Christmas that requires Jetsia to have a Christmas hat. So don't worry, Jetsia will be making an appearance in my Christmas video this year. So I hear you, Geek Filter. Too much to do too before Friday. And don't worry, Leprechaun Master. I'm glad that you're able to stop by even for a little bit. Hope you're doing well. Sorry, I'm also trying to calm down because there's just a lot. The past few hours has just been a lot. I'm sorry to be a tease. I'm sorry to be a tease. I really do apologize. Yeah, some cool stuff. Cool stuff I just learned, but also stressful stuff. It's like a good stressful, but it's stressful. It's like I just wanted to relax for Christmas. Or not Christmas, for Thanksgiving, but evidently that's not going to happen. So it's all good. All I want for Christmas is you. But yeah, I know I titled this yeah, I'm sorry that the monitor's going crazy. I am planning, just so everyone knows, as you can see, it looks a little bit different back there. I don't have my nice lighting and stuff. Normally I would try and tint the light. Maybe I can tint this a little darker so you can see my face a little better. But I am planning on, or I was planning on before things got kind of crazy, now that I have a lot more other stuff to do this week. I was planning on rearranging this room a little bit so I can get it, now that I have a lot of the stuff that I need to arrange this room the way that I want to. So I'm planning on rearranging this room a little bit so it'll look a little bit better in like live streams and other things that I do. Plus, I'm also planning to do more video game live streams starting next year. So I want this room to look kind of nice. So, okay. That seems like a decent lighting ratio there, I believe. Maybe if actually, I wonder, let me try one thing, everybody. Just turn that on, and then if I do, that's not better. Is that any better? Nope, that's not any better. Well, I tried. That might, actually, that's not half bad. My hair is kind of weird today, but actually, that's not half bad. I don't mind that lighting. All right, that's a little better, probably for lighting purposes. There we are. Yes, you saw my butt. Yes, Kevs. All right. All right, so yeah, this looks a little bit better. So yeah, I'm playing with lighting setups. So now I'm hopefully gonna get things looking a little bit better for next year because I want to do more video game streams next year. In fact, I'm hoping my first video game, I'll announce it now. The first video game that I'm going to start streaming next year is going to be Star Trek Elite Force. If I can get my copy of it to work. So there we go. Anyways, what does everyone want to talk about? This stream is now directed by J.J. Abrams. It's good to see you, this glorious clockwork, by the way. I hope you're doing well. We need to talk. I keep meaning to connect offline, but I keep meaning to talk to you offline because some stuff has happened and I want to talk to you about it. But especially in regards to some people that we know. So let's see. All right, what does everyone want to talk about? Gretchen Badger. Okay, so you've been in the new job in City for about a month now. How's it going? It's going pretty good. City is great. I love being in Seattle. I mean, kind of on lockdown now. We went into an even further lockdown a week or two ago. So, I mean, what are you going to do? But, I mean, that wouldn't have been any different had I been living in Los Angeles. So, you know, take it or leave it. But I like being in Seattle a little bit more because at least I can get out a little bit more. Like, we are in lockdown, but they have a few parks that I can take some walks in and be socially distanced. Don't worry, this glorious clockwork. You and I will talk offline. We'll talk offline. Don't worry. So being in Seattle is great. I adore being in Seattle. The job is also really good. I'm kind of excited because when I started, I can talk about this now. So I for those of you who all know, I work at the Museum of Pop Culture now. I just started about a month ago. And they have this big event called the Founders Award, which they do every year. And it's usually like a big event, like a physical event. But obviously because of the way the world is right now, obviously they can't do a big physical event. So they're doing a video event, which if any of you have Amazon, I believe it's also going to be on Twitch. You should watch it. It's going to go on December 1st. I need to double check that. But the Founders Award is this big event that's going to go out live on December 1st. It's like a big fundraising event. So I've been helping film that. And I basically was tossed right into that as soon as I got here. And I've just been going full steam on that. And it's, so it's been kind of crazy. So that's been a whole deal. And we officially submitted all the videos that we needed to submit today. Truffle85, you used to work at the museum too. That's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, you know, Mopop buddies. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, that's been a whole to do, and we finally finished everything up today. So I've been just kind of chilling, just chilling, a little bit today and getting a little bit of work done. So yeah, I'm just gonna be glad because December seems like it'll slow down a little bit, and my life will be a little less headachy. So it's just been I've been kind of burning out, to be honest with all of you. Yeah, the past few weeks I've been just burning out a little bit, kind of burning the candle at both ends. So I'm just kind of nice that it's I'm gonna I was looking forward to these next few days to relax, but something has come up that will take a little bit of my time, but I'm gonna try and be careful to not burn myself out too hard. So punk rock zoologist. Hey, Jesse, hope you're doing well. Everyone here will be ready in 1 week for a very special Vedic assembly. That's amazing. Yeah, Punk Rock Zoologist is one of the hosts of the wonderful Vedic Assembly podcast, which we recorded our wonderful discussion. One of my favorite podcast discussions, I should say. No offense to any other podcast discussions that I've had, but we had a discussion about Dax, and I think we had some really hard topics. Also, we were kind of dirty as well towards the end there. But that podcast will be going up in about a week or so, according to Punk Rock Zoologist. So, yeah, I'm very excited to share that with all of you, and I'll be sharing it on the channel's community page when that goes up. But thank you for the super chat, Punk Rock Zoologist, and thank you for inviting me on the podcast. It was absolutely wonderful. I loved it so much. So yeah, what does everyone want to talk about? That's basically everything I had. Geek Filter, I love you. Your podcast was amazing too. I adored it. But that was like an episode review, and I enjoy doing episode reviews. We just got into like a deeper focus on a singular topic as opposed to like reviewing an episode, which is always going to be sort of a deeper dive discussion. So no offense to Geek Filter. I did the wonderful Infinite Trek podcast as well, which was also great. And I'm also sure we will have many wonderful discussions, and we're doing something this Friday as well, which I'm also very excited about, which I'll pitch, which I'll promote it towards the end of the podcast, with everybody. So, yeah. So what was I saying? Yes. Someone asked a good question that I actually wanted to answer. Let's see. Where was it? Where was that question that I just saw? Oh, I reread Whipping. Harry Garrison asks, I reread Whipping Girl last weekend. Have you read it? And if so, what are your thoughts on it? For those of you who don't know, Whipping Girl is one of the first and biggest known. I shouldn't say the first because there was definitely more beforehand, but it was sort of like one of the biggest known and one of the seminal like transgender philosophy works out there. Is it Julia Serrano who wrote? No, I don't think it's Julia Serrano who wrote it. I forget the author of Whipping Girl off the top of my head. I own it. I forget. I think it might be Julia Serrano, the author of Whipping Girl. But anyways, if you're all interested in like seminal transgender philosophy, where like a lot of like transgender philosophy and how we understand a lot of like trans stuff today, that book is a great, like probably the best starting place for a lot of people. So I would, if you're ever looking for more information on just like where a lot of trans philosophy comes from, that's the best place. Oh my gosh, everybody, thank you for all the super chats. Omar, thank you. Jack F, thank you as well. Carlisle the Cinephile, Carlisle. I always say this, but your name that I keep popping up in the chat, Carlisle the Cinephile, is one of my favorite names. But thank you, Omar. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Carlisle. You are all wonderful, amazing people, and I send you hearts. You are absolutely wonderful. Gozer the Traveler. Yeah, I got 26 subscribers now, which is insane. I didn't even mention that. I literally posted on my Twitter 2 days ago that I got 25K, which had just happened literally what would have been Monday, I think. And today I woke up this morning to 26K. That's a thousand subscribers in like a day, which is insane. It's like kind of terrifying to be completely honest with all of you. Like it's so cool. It's exciting. I'm very excited about it, but I'm also just like, I don't want to disappoint people. I just want to make sure I do it right and try to build this channel in a way that feels good to me and good to everybody else. And of course, that's never going to be perfect. Just the nature of things growing. Some people are going to dislike or like what I do, but I just want to make sure I do this right. Try and be a good person and do the right things and talk about the right stuff. So it's exciting and scary at the same time. So I just kind of get nervous about it. But yeah, thank you. I should say thank you everybody to and I see the super chats. I'm going to address them in just a second. But I say this. It shocks me that I have to say this every live stream because it doesn't shock me, but it does shock me that like you guys are all guys, gals, and MB pals are all so wonderful and amazing and help build this channel so quickly in a way that I never expected. Like my goal, I said this in my tweet, like my goal for this channel at the beginning of this year was to hit 10K. I think I was at like 8 or 9K, maybe at like 7K, maybe at the start of this year. I forget exactly where I was at the start of this year, but my goal was like, if I hit 10K this year, I will be happy. The fact that I hit 26K and it looking, I looked at Social Blade today because why not boost my ego a little bit, but yeah, the very fact that I'm angling to hit 30K at the end of the year or towards the beginning of next year, I have no idea how to feel about that other than gratitude and excitement and fear. So Brian Abbott, please go ahead and subscribe, of course. Now let me just quick address the super chats. I don't want to miss those before they get too far gone. KevZ247, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That heart is for you, you lovely, lovely human. Corey, good to see you and KT Dunn both here. This is KT Dunn. Our card is attached to Corey's account. Aw, just wanted to send some love and a squidge of support. Heart hands. Heart hands to you, KT Dunn. I guess it's KT, but to both you and Corey. Also, I won't say what specifically because it's in our separate community, but the pictures, I said it in the Discord, but in the Discord, the pictures you shared were absolutely adorable. So I just want to tell you and Corey that, without saying specifically, because I don't want to say it too publicly because it is something private, but adorable. Your pictures are adorable. I just wanted to let you know that in my actual voice. Romulino, congratulations and thanks for all the content. Well, thank you, Romulino, #1 for the super chat, and thank you for being so kind and wonderful and amazing. That heart is for you. And Carlisle the Cinephile, what I wanted to say was that I recently came out as bi. Oh, congratulations. That's freaking amazing. I'm bi as well. So we're bi-blings? I'm going to go with bi-blings. Happy bi-blings. And your LGBT videos helped me come to terms with that. Thank you for all that you do. Well, I am so glad that my videos were able to help you figure that out and help you in that journey. But also don't discredit yourself too. I mean, I'm sure you didn't, but... like I am so glad that you were able to come out and that you're happy with that decision and we're able to explore that. And if I played some small part in that, I am honored. I am deeply, deeply honored. So Carlisle the Cinephile, love to you. That heart is for you, my Bibling. That sounds wrong the more I say it. I shouldn't say Bibling. Bye buddies. I like bye buddies. I don't know. Bibling, I don't know. I can get with it. I just, every time I think of Biblings, I just think of younglings from Star Wars, and that does not end. Don't be a youngling in Star Wars. It just never ends well. It never ends well. So let's see. Yeah, what does everyone else want to keep talking about? Yeah. Oh, I actually wanted to source a question for you. Actually, I do have a request for the super chat here, or for that super chat, for the chat, not super chats. So request for the chat here. So for one of the things that I'm being kind of teasy about, which I apologize for, I can't speak about it, but for this thing, I have to write a script, and I need to write a joke for this script, and I have the setup, but I don't know what the punchline is. So I need everyone's help to come up with a thing. What's something funny that happens every year or happens a lot? So like, let's see, like I'm trying to think of how to set up the punchline without revealing too much of what this is. Something like, I'm trying to set this joke with like something that happens every year is like the blank of this thing. Does that make any sense? Like this is the one that I came up with, but I don't like it because it's too dark. So apologies. This is not me making fun of anyone with this or anything like that. That's why I want to get rid of it. But the joke I came up with is like, this blank thing is like the syphilis of books, we'll say. It's like the syphilis of books. It comes back every year. I don't want to use syphilis because that's too dark, and I don't want to make fun of people with STDs. So apologies. That was just the joke that came to mind. But I'm trying to think of like, if anyone has something I could put in there as like that thing. It's hard to explain building a joke. I'm just realizing it's hard to explain building a joke without being able to talk specifically about the joke. I am sorry. But yeah, if anyone's got anything, if anyone's got any stuff there, we can keep talking about what everyone else wants to chat about. But if anyone has any ideas, I would very much love some pitches for me to stick in that joke there. So, clock's going back and forth. The flu, maybe? Yeah, flu feels a bit wrong nowadays. I was thinking it's like the cold. It's like the flu, but it's like, let's not do the flu. Bad deals on a Black Friday. Ooh, that's not bad. Oh, Reinhardt, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. My wife and I are so proud of you for 26,000 subs. Thank you so much, Reinhardt. And thank you for being here since the beginning, or close to the beginning. You've been coming to these live streams since probably before 10K or close to. So it is so good to see you here. Let's see. Miss Wicked Wolf asks, Red Lantern flies. Taxes? Yeah, taxes isn't bad. I'm trying to think of like something really funny. Like a YouTube comment section, it keeps coming back up. It's actually not bad either. Flu, tax season. Yeah, tax season. Yeah, I don't know if tax season works. Flurkin's Galaxy, thank you so much for the super chat. That heart is for you, my wonderful friend. Like the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Oh, glitter. Yeah, yeah, but that's, I'm not trying to say you can't get, well, actually glitter. Actually could work for the joke. Sorry, now I'm thinking of the joke. Anyways, let's move on. I'll think of something. But if anyone has any suggestions, we can keep thinking of stuff. Anyways, yeah. So what does everyone want to talk about? Let's see. Sorry, I'm looking for some questions of things that anyone wants to. Colon exam. Actually, that's not bad. What is there like a? Yeah, is there like a dental checkup? Ooh. Like the dental checkup. Okay, that actually might work. Truffle 85. You might have helped me onto something there. Ooh, that's actually not bad. You're onto the right idea. Colonoscopy. Maybe somewhere in that range. You're getting there. Anyways, what do we want to talk about? Let's talk about other things. Carlisle the Cinephile, are you getting any new gaming consoles? I have my eye on the PS5. I am thinking about getting a PS5. I'm probably not for a while just because they don't have any at all. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Lamb from Boise. I'm sorry if I totally mispronounced. I know I mispronounced it even as I said it. I'm so sorry. But have a good evening. It was good to see you. But yeah, back to the question on the PS5. Yeah, I am gonna get a PS5. So right now I'm actually looking at trying to save up for and probably gonna get before the end of the year because I can write it off as a tax thing. I mean, it won't save me all the money, but I'm looking to get a new editing computer. So I can edit on it and it'd just be faster because this computer that I'm using right here is getting it's chugging along, especially with the project that I have. The Christmas video that I'm doing this year is huge. It's got a lot of stuff going on and it is chugging this computer. So I'm probably just gonna bite the bullet and buy a new editing PC and just upgrade it and just have a PC because now I have a Mac too, which is part of why I'm hoping to do more Twitch streams next year because I'll be able to play like games on my computer here as opposed to like, you know, dragging over the PS4 and getting all that stuff set up. So I am planning on getting the gaming PC, which means editing PC, and that's what I'm going to do more of, which means I probably won't need to buy an Xbox because Microsoft has been pretty good about putting all of their big games onto like Xbox Game Pass and stuff and allowing it to be played on the computer. So like Halo's like the big game that I'm going to want to get on the Xbox. And if it's on the computer, then I'll get that. So if I am going to get the next generation console, it would probably be a PS5. And there's nothing on my immediate radar that is like, oh, I need to get the PS5 for that. But there are ones coming up. Like I believe I played Miles Morales, which is amazing. I played it on my PS4. I loved the new Miles Morales game. Highly recommend it. Absolutely wonderful. Miles Morales might be my favorite Spider-Man over Peter Parker at this point after this game and Into the Spider-Verse. He's fan-freaking-tastic. And then, what else was there? What was I saying? The only other games for the PS5 that I'm like really looking forward to are God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn. But I believe there have been hints that both of those are planning to come out for PS4 as well. So it's like I don't necessarily know if I need it for those then. So it's like once there's like a big game that I'm like I need to play that, I will probably pick up a PS5. But I don't know when that will be because there's no immediate rush to do that at the moment. I mean, I kind of got hyped and tried to buy one like a week or two ago when they came out, and I was like, yeah, I want to get one, but I couldn't get my hands on one, and now I'm sort of like, now that the hype's died down, I'm like, yeah, I can wait on it. So, let's see. Mac M, thank you for the super chat. I'm sending you a heart. Thank you so much. Mac M, found your channel while watching Star Trek Review. You're one of the few Star Trek reviewers who gives well thought out and overwhelmingly positive reviews. It's a refreshing change. Thanks. Well, thank you. Yeah, I do try. I mean, I try to be like, my goal with the reviews is like, I try to be honest. Like if I'm disappointed in an episode, I'll be honest with you, but I've been generally positive on the show so far, but I'll be critical as I be critical, but I also know like, one of the things that's missing on YouTube from some more prominent YouTubers is like enthusiasm. It's just like excitement. Like we are in the era of Star Trek where we're getting more Star Trek than ever before. Like there's more Star Trek now than there like coming out at the moment than there has ever been ever. And like I understand some people not liking it. As I've always said, if you don't like it, you don't like it. But like it's exciting. It's fun. It's like this is cool. It's exciting and cool. And I have a lot of fun playing playing these things, and not playing these things, sorry, I'm thinking back to video games, like watching Star Trek and getting excited and learning all this new stuff. And unfortunately, a lot of the bigger channels that discuss Star Trek right now, without even like talking about the toxic element of it, which is a whole other deal, are just kind of like, man, we're just going to talk about it. And it's just like, no, Let's have fun. It's exciting. It's just fun. I just want to, I want to bring my enthusiasm and bring my excitement for this show and my excitement for Star Trek to all of you. That's what I try to bring across in the reviews. It's like, I'll be critical. I'm going to be critical and give like my legitimate thoughts on it. I'm not going to like hide if I'm disappointed by something or upset by something, but I'm going to be enthusiastic regardless. Like, I mean, even if it's the worst thing ever, I'm still going to be excited about stuff. I don't know. I just trying to have fun. As much as I care about the politics of Star Trek and going in depth and looking at the themes and ideas in Star Trek, like, I also just like having fun. And I just want to share fun. I just get more joy sharing joy with everybody than anything else. So why wouldn't I do that? So, all right. What other questions? Let's see. Just how sorry, I missed the discussion going on there, but How Long Till Black Future Month is a great book by N.K. Jemisin. I don't know what spurned that, but N.K. Jemisin in general is a great author, one of my favorites. Her Broken Earth trilogy, one of the best fantasy trilogies that I could ever recommend. If you have not read N.K. Jemison's, like, that is my number one fantasy series to read, to recommend, is the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. My number one science fiction one is the Expanse novels. So if you want my recommendations, the sci-fi series, read the Expanse books. If you want the best fantasy ones that are like sort of more modern, I would recommend N.K. Jemison's Broken Earth. So, definitely great. Flurkin's Galaxy, what do you think of the most recent Star Trek Deep Space Nine comics? I have yet to get issue 4, so no spoilers. I haven't read them either. I was just going to wait until all 4 were out and either get, like, I'm sure they'll release, like, a trade paperback, or they will, I'm assuming you're talking about the Odo Deep Space Nine comics, which I forget the name of them, but the Odo ones. Yeah, I am planning on reading them, but I was just going to wait till all 4 and just read them all at once. I don't have much ability to start getting single issues at the moment. Just like it just wastes more money. It's just easier just to buy the whole thing at once and just enjoy the whole story at once. I used to get a lot of single issues. In fact, I think in this closet right here, I have a whole like 3 boxes of single issues for my entire time collecting. But yeah, no, there's I am excited to read it, but I don't have any opinions on it at the moment. Jack the Gun, happy Charlie X Day, all. That's great. I love it. Is this the day that Charlie X aired? That would make sense, maybe. I don't even know. But heart to you. Thank you so much for the super chat. And Designer Core, thank you so much as well. Giving you a heart. Thank you for the super chat. Let's see. Discovery Theory. What if Starfleet are all advanced hollows made by the Doc, who has captained most of the Voyagers throughout the year? Yeah, that would be great. I mean, that was one thing I actually just thinking about, like, on Discovery, that, like, I thought about it while I was watching last episode, or 2 episodes ago. I'll keep this. This isn't huge spoilers, to be honest. If you haven't caught up on Discovery, don't worry. This is like, it's technically a spoiler, but it's like, it's not. It has nothing to do with the plot, really. But one of the things that I was mildly disappointed on watching, and it's like, it's just different ways they took the story. It's not like, oh, they screwed it up. It's just one of those, like, oh, I would have done something slightly different with that, but they went their own way, and that's fine. But I was just a little disappointed. I was like, oh yeah, the holograms are still holograms. They're still kind of enslaved, when there was a kind of an undercurrent throughout TNG, DS9, and Voyager, especially TNG and Voyager. But even you got that with Vic Fontaine in DS9, that like holograms were starting to become more sentient and have more ability to become sentient. And so I was just a bit disappointed that there's still like holograms in the 31st or whatever century they're in Discovery. I was just like, oh, well, I guess they didn't evolve, or there was something. There's something probably to be discussed there, but I'm curious. I mean, there's a whole chunk of time that something could have happened. Like maybe there was a hologram uprising, or maybe they put limits on like how much data a hologram could have or something. So I'm curious, but it is something that I like hope they don't do what Star Wars did in that respect, which is like the droids, where it's like if you look at the droids, that situation is messed up. Pop Culture Detective did a great video on it, but I thought about it beforehand. Like, the droid situation in Star Wars is really the most messed up thing. It's really, without using strong words, it's really effed up. If you really think about it. I mean, we're not supposed to take it seriously, but if you take it seriously, it's kind of effed up. Star Trek always kind of took that a little bit more seriously than most, especially with like data and holograms and stuff like that. So it's one of those things. Like I hope they touch upon, maybe in Star Trek Picard would actually be a great place for it, considering that's kind of like the rights of like synthetic life has been kind of a theme in Picard. So doing hologram discussions in Picard would actually be a great place for it. So, and I don't think it would mess with Discovery. I'm sure you could retcon something or other that happens in the next 600 years that fixes why they're in Discovery. So. Don't worry, KT Dunn, I'm not going to talk much. That's literally all I'll say about Discovery. I won't spoil any more Discovery stuff. So apologies, Corey and KT and anyone else who if Discovery talk. Don't worry, there's nothing more I'll be saying about Discovery in terms of spoiler stuff. So, let's see. So yeah, let's in terms of Discovery talk, I'm just looking through the chat. There's a lot of Discovery talk. Let's keep it spoiler free, just for people who haven't caught up on the show. I'll try and if I do discuss, I'll try not to discuss Discovery too much without giving a warning. Miss Wicked Wolf, do you have any plans for Thanksgiving, and do you watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade? I typically do watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade when I'm with family. Like if I'm with family, it's like one of those things you have on the background. We like put out some hors d'oeuvres and things that people munch on throughout the day until we have the big Thanksgiving dinner, and sort of it's just one of those things on the background. This year I'm not going anywhere for Thanksgiving and not really doing anything for Thanksgiving, so it's just mostly going to be me hanging out. So it's just sad, but you know, it is what this year is, and next year I'll be able to see family and we'll be better hopefully. But yeah, so Truffle85 says, Jesse, have you ever thought of doing book reviews? Well, I actually do book reviews. I mainly do Star Trek ones. But actually, I think over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be branching out a little bit further. I actually, depending on how fast I can finish them, on my docket right now for the coming months, or before the end of the year, I have there's a new Star Trek book called Principles of Conquest, something like that. The new Greg Cox is a new Star Trek book that just came out that I'm going to be reviewing. I'm also going to be reviewing. I actually got reached out to by Simon & Schuster, not to review Star Trek books, which is weird. Simon & Schuster owns the Star Trek book rights, but they reached out to me not to send me a Star Trek book. They sent me a Halo book, which fine. I'm a Halo fan, so I'll take it and read it and review it. But yeah, it was just weird. I was like, sure, I'll take your Halo book, but do you have any Star Trek books for me? I'll read your Star Trek books. But yeah, anyways, yeah, Simon & Schuster reached out to send me a free copy of the latest Halo book. So I'll actually be reviewing that. I'm in the midst of reading it. I'm hopefully finishing it this weekend to put up a review next week of it. Liking it so far. And then I am also planning on reviewing Ready Player 2. Because a lot of thoughts about Ready Player One and Ernest Cline, but I am, to be very honest with you, Ready Player Two. I mean, let me put it this way. I am very much someone who is like we need to read into it. We can't just do surface level readings of our books. We can't do surface level readings of our media. We can do deeper dives. The Ready Player One book and movie were just member berries for me. Like, if I just look at it as like, oh look, here's all the cool things that I like. This is kind of fun. I thought they were fun little escapist reads. There are some disturbing implications about those books that I'm like, don't, especially when it comes to the treatment of women, and especially Ernest Cline's how to put it kindly, because I don't think he's like an outright misogynist sexist. Just sort of 1980s view of women. Just being very honest with you. Yeah, non-binary sex gozer. He wrote about straight sex, gay sex, and non-binary. It's all just sex. So yeah, so there's that stuff. It's one of those you can tell in his writing that Ernest Cline, something like that, is you're trying. but not well enough. You're still centering yourself in the like you're. I wanted to do a video on this, but I can discuss it here a little bit. Like for Ernst Klein, or however you say his name, my apologies to him if I am saying his name wrong. It's like there's that passage in Ready Player 2 that came out about like his discussion on trying to be affirming for trans people, but the way it's written is just weird. It's clearly he doesn't like get much of trans stuff, but you can tell that the goal is to be affirming. Like he's not trying to be like trans people suck or I hate trans people. So like I don't want to be like overly cruel or mean to it, because his goal is to be like affirming of trans people and affirming of non-binary folks and all that stuff. So like cool, but it just feels like he's still centering the male gaze within that, which to a degree, in terms of Ready Player 2 being like a first person narrative, like, and Wade, the main character, being like kind of that kind of dude, like the nerdy bro dude who like is like, I'm affirming but doesn't really get it all that well. Like it makes sense with actually, if you just sort of read it, it's like this is just actually what Wade would say, because it actually kind of fits his character. But when you look at like the wider narrative of Ready Player 1 and 2, you can kind of tell that like the way he treats women is still kind of like very 1980s retrograde. Like there's still the trophy thing. They're still like the women are the trophy, and they still like are like, I want to be with the guy, sort of thing. And yes, they're a little bit more, they have a little bit more agency than maybe the 80s women would have, but still, it's still kind of retrograde. And I think all of it kind of comes down to like Ernst Klein not being able to like very, very aptly empathize, or like not center, better way to put it. He sees like cisgender straight male sex as like, he still sees that as like the default, and sees all other types of sex and gender like as like these weird strange other things that he like, I totally like affirm that, but he still sees them as strange instead of just like different ways humans exist, if that makes sense. So it's still like this cisgender gazy kind of thing in his work that like I don't want to be I want to be critical of, like, for sure. And I do want to talk about when I do that review of that book, because I am planning to do a review of the book. But I also don't want to I don't want to be overly cruel. Like I feel like there's some people on Twitter that I've seen like making fun of the passage and everything. And for sure it deserves some ridicule, and there's some comedy bits in there, but I also like worry like not to tone police, because people can be offended any way they want. I'm not going to tell people not to be, but like, you can tell the dude's trying, and he should try harder for sure, especially if he's going to put like some in his books. But also, I appreciate the attempt. I'd rather have that than like J.K. Rowling. You know what I mean? So I think that's sort of my view on Ernst Klein there. It's like, I'd rather that. I'd rather what he's doing than J.K. Rowling. That being said, he still deserves critique and criticism and should do better, especially if he's going to put that in his book. But I'd still prefer this over J.K. Rowling. So both things can be true, as we talked about earlier. Nuance is a thing. So both things can be true. He can be better than most, but still worthy of critique. So anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to go off on Ready Player 2 for a while. Sorry for that little diatribe. I hope that was interesting to everybody. Doom Patrol. Someone asked, do I like Doom Patrol? Michelle asked that. I love Doom Patrol. Haven't read much of the comics, but the show is fan-frickin-tastic. I think it got renewed for a third season on HBO Max. I believe so. I really like it. I think it's much better than Titans. That's for dang sure. Titans is not great, which is sad because I was very excited for Titans. But yeah, Titans is just like the Zack Snyder like crap that like don't get me wrong, I find Zack Snyder like, let me put it this way, for Titans, Zack Snyder is, I find Zack Snyder's work like terrible, the exact wrong choice for those superheroes, but I find it fascinating because it's like wholly his vision. Whereas Titans is one of those like, we're gonna try and be like Zack Snyder, but it doesn't really have anything it's trying to say. It's just trying to like echoing the style of Zack Snyder without echoing any of the substance. And the substance of Zack Snyder is not that great either anyways. So it's like, a pale echo of something that you shouldn't be even making a pale echo of. So Titans just sucks. Doom Patrol was very much like it understood what it was going to be. Is going to be this weird, offbeat, crazy, queer affirming, wonderful thing. So I Doom Patrol, if you haven't watched Doom Patrol, is absolutely fantastic. It's a great look at like neurotypical individuals in general, like using like a lot of like metaphors for neurotypical people, but also great discussions of minority stuff. It's queer as all hell. It's off the wall weird. It's absolutely fantastic. So, do you watch Kippo? No, I haven't watched Kippo. I do want to watch Kippo, though. I am very excited to watch Kippo. It's one of those, like, I need, like, a She-Ra fix right now. Well, I'm watching Gravity Falls now that I'm finished She-Ra. So my next step after watching Gravity Falls is Kippo to sort of keep that, like She-Ra, like, Avatar, that, like, animated but, like, very deep kind of animated kid show vibe going. So that's definitely going to be... It's either right after Gravity Falls or it's close. It's going to be one of those shows that I'm going to watch relatively in the near future. So I am excited to watch Kippo. It's definitely on my radar. Let's see. Have you seen Queen's Gambit? No, that's my next live action show to watch. What am I watching right now? I think I'm finishing up Fargo, trying to catch up on Fargo, the new season of Fargo, and then I'll probably pop on Queen's Gambit as well. Have you seen Torchwood or the Sarah Jane Adventures? I've seen both. I've seen all of Torchwood. I've seen bits and pieces of Sarah Jane Adventures. Love both of them. I think Sarah Jane's fun little kid show. Torchwood I think is great, especially season 3. I actually am an apologist for season 4. I like season 4. I just think it ends terribly. Like, I think season 4 of Torchwood ends horribly. The final episode or two is just god awful because it's kind of like, I don't know, whatever. Like, there's a weird underground vagina in the earth that caused all of this stuff. That's basically what it is. But the rest of season 4 of Torchwood I actually think is kind of interesting and solid, and I think followed up on season 3 of Torchwood in a very interesting way. Sort of the failures of bureaucracy to respond to bigger problems, and I think that's a message that very much applies today. So I actually think season 4 of Torchwood is actually great, minus how it wraps up, which is awfully. It's just the ending of Torchwood season 4 is horrible. So, do you consider, someone asks, crazy theories, do you consider Doctor Who a trans character now that Doctor has become a woman, or is it different because it's not voluntary? So I actually have a lot of thoughts about that, and I have a video that I have written that is partially filmed that will be coming out early next year. So I am going to be doing a video on my feelings on Doctor Who as a trans character, because I have many feelings on that subject, and that'll be a video that'll be coming up in probably February. I'd have to look at my video schedule, but I think that's a video that I'm gonna probably doing in February. But yeah. Underground Vagina is the name of my band, Gozer. Is that true? Do you really have a band named Underground Vagina? Because that is amazing. And if you don't, form that band, and I will support it 100%. If you do have that band, send me Spotify information, because I want to hear that music, because that sounds right up my alley. Crudbutts asks, by the way, love the name Crudbutts. We've been enjoying your quick turnaround Discovery reviews and thoughtful videos. Thanks. Well, thank you so much for the super chat. That heart is for you. And thank you for the reviews. I appreciate that people like that, because especially on nights that I have like a work week, especially now, the past like month or so, I've been having like a work week. Earlier, before, when I didn't have much work, it was just sort of like, yeah, I could stay up to midnight, whatever. But nowadays, I've been staying up to midnight and like refreshing the page, waiting for the Star Trek episode to drop. I watch it instantly and then give my review. Still enjoy it, but it's kind of like I'm doing the critical analysis mode, so I have to watch it again later in the week to sort of like enjoy the video, to enjoy the episode. It's like one of those, like I watch it with critical cap on, still enjoying it and still like trying to have fun, but also like trying to like critically analyze it. And then I just do one where I'm like, I'm not going to analyze it. I'm just going to enjoy it. Even if it's an episode I don't like, I'm just going to enjoy the episode. So I appreciate that people appreciate it. I'm debating, I'm going to, for Discovery, for the rest of the season, don't worry, I'm going to be doing my reviews until like right after they come out. That's just something I'm going to be continuing doing. But for my mental health, if I have a full-time job like I do right now, for whenever the next Star Trek show that comes out, I might not do it immediately after, just so I can sleep, and then do it later on. The episodes usually drop somewhere between 11 and midnight Pacific time. Just so people know. They usually drop on CBS All Access. So I'm hoping, or I know some people who have been getting the freaking, some CBS has been sending them the videos early. So if I can get those freaking screener links that everyone seems to be getting, I'm looking at you, Ketwalski, you jerk. So if I can get those screener links, that would do wonders for my mental health too. But regardless of that, I don't have any ins at CBS or anything like that. So yeah, for the next one, I'm probably, unless I'm doing this full time by that point, which is possible considering how fast I've been growing and would be a dream. But, barring that, which I would be surprised if I'm doing this full time at that point, I would expect I probably won't be doing them immediately the night of, anymore, just for my own sanity. So. And Geek Filter, if you're out there in the chat, and get me on in. I know Geek Filter gets those screener links, so get me those screener links. I got some of those screener links, like a drug dealer. Nathaniel Smurwaith asks, "What do you want to see in Picard season 2? Or is it when or what? Picard season 2. I just want my big problem with Picard Season 1, and for everyone's awareness, Picard Season 1 is actually of the modern Star Trek season, so Discovery Season 1, 2, What We've Seen of 3, Lower Deck Season 1, and then Picard Season 1. Picard Season 1 is actually probably my least favorite Star Trek, modern Star Trek season. I don't think it's like the worst first season ever. Like, I still think TNG has probably the worst first season of any Star Trek show. But I'm still not the biggest fan of Picard Season 1. And the big problem for that, and what I think they can really fix in Season 2, is I don't really, whatever plot they do, the problem I have with the Picard Season 1 is I actually really loved a lot of the ideas. I loved a lot of the ideas in Picard Season 1. There's, without spoiling, because I won't talk spoilers in case people haven't seen Picard Season 1, but there was a lot of Picard Season 1, especially in the setup, that I really loved. I thought it was some really great ideas, especially with how they used some legacy characters, how they built out the world, some decisions that they made with the Federation and Starfleet. I actually really liked all of it, where they took Picard, where Picard was at the beginning of the show. I thought those were really cool and intriguing ideas, and in my opinion, wonderful places to start the characters. Some people didn't like where they went with it, but I actually think they were great. My problem with Picard really came more in the back end, because it felt like they did not know where they were going with it. And as such, it kind of just sort of plopped out at the end. Like all this like interesting stuff that they brought out didn't have any interesting payoff, which was frustrating because I could see the trajectory of where that payoff could have gone. Some of it was rushed, some of it was just meandering, some of it was just kind of bleh. So that's my biggest problem with Picard Season 1. There was just no... They had a strong start and a strong story that just sort of like fell apart at the end. And I think part of the reason for that, probably the predominant reason for that, is just the nature of production these days and film production. If you look at how Star Trek films typically, and you saw the same problem in both Discovery Season 1 and Season 2, though I think they did a little bit better job there, but you see the same problem there. Is they come up with the idea for the season. They write the first like 6 or 7 episodes, and then as they start writing those first 6 or 7 episodes, then they are starting to film those episodes. So see, episode 1, episode 2, episode 3 of Discovery is like, or Picard is already filming as they're writing the end of the season. So the problem with that is like if they change their mind or they realize something doesn't completely work by the end of the season, by the time they get to episode 10, they're like, oh, we kind of went a different way, or we didn't really, or there's this idea that we had. They then, because production has already happened, they don't have as much ability to go back and fix the problems or like set up the stuff appropriately. So that was sort of the big problem, and it's why you see shows like Watchmen, for example. Watchmen, I think, was an excellent show, or Chernobyl. These like mini-series shows are so well done. Mostly because, number one, the talent of the writers, for sure, but predominantly those shows are made before, like, are fully written before they actually go to filming. I mean, in the case of Watchmen, I think all of that was written. The only things that weren't written before the show went to filming, or the only things that started filming before they had finished writing, were the Ozymandias parts. So the Ozymandias parts, as you can see, were kind of separated off in that show for the first 2 episodes and then came back in at the end of the series. But most of the series was written before they started filming. And so I think that show, you can see that because they were able to sprinkle in stuff at the top that they knew they wanted to get to at the end. And so that's my biggest problem with Picard. Is I really hope in season 2, now that I've given my long rant on it, I hope in season 2 of Picard that they just, they because of the pandemic, which, has been horrible, but at least in this one instance might be a good thing, they have been able to finish all of their scripts before they start filming. So I think that because of the pandemic, it might end up making Picard better. I wish we didn't have the pandemic, but if there is a benefit to have come out of this, that is a nice one, at least. So there we go. Anyways, that was my long rant on Picard. I hope anyone gave a crap because I wasn't paying attention to the chat for a bit there, so apologies on that rant. I love how I always go on rants and then people, then I always apologize for going on the rants. Theo Wild, everyone always asks this. If you want this trans flag, go onto Twitter, look up someone on Twitter named Admiral Bongwater. That's literally the name. I know it's funny, but they are they sell the trans flags. So look up Admiral Bongwater on Twitter and you'll find the person who sells the trans flags in the store there. So, yeah, so that's where that is. Let's see. Favorite and least favorite Thanksgiving dish. Favorite Thanksgiving dish would probably be mashed potatoes? Either mashed potatoes or stuffing. I really love mashed potatoes and stuffing. Least favorite Thanksgiving dish. I don't really hate anything on Thanksgiving. Squash? But I've come to appreciate squash now that I'm older. It used to be squash, though. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really have a least favorite. Baby girl Roberta, thank you so much for the super chat. Heart to you. That art is officially for you. Thank you so much. 2020 Animaniacs, what are your thoughts? I'm still in the midst of watching the 2020 Animaniacs. I like it, don't love it. And I think it's just to give my brief thoughts on 2020 Animaniacs, and this is with the asterisk, I haven't watched all of it yet. I'm still in the middle of it. I like it. I just realized that I don't think this is the show for me. I appreciate its meta commentary. I appreciate its it's clearly a very intelligent show and very smartly done, and there's some really good biting satire in there. But as I watched, I'm just like, I don't know if the humor sometimes is a bit too random for me. I'd like to have a little bit more of a through line and a little bit more storylines that continue forward. It's all just like a bunch of random sketches that some of the humor is just comes out of how random the humor is. That's not to say, the stuff that I like about it is the actual biting, the actual parodies and meta commentary and criticisms that they do. But generally, I've just found as a whole, I find the skits, I'm okay, it's kind of funny, but it's not bad. I think it's great. I think for what it is an excellent version of what it is. I just am realizing what it is not the thing for me, which is surprising because I'm usually very open to cartoon shows like that. I mean, I love cartoon shows like that sort of thing, but I guess it's a little bit too disparate for me to really delve into it. So, okay. Aaron Cochran, I just got in a fight with my Trump-loving family members and was really depressed when I saw you started streaming. Perfect timing. Thank you. Well, Aaron, I am so sorry that happened. I'm sending you love. This is a heart just for you, Aaron. I definitely know. I know what that is like. I've definitely had that. And it sucks. It sucks to have to deal with people that you love getting in fights about, loving Trump, and especially right now where people seem to be living in a completely different reality, devoid of reason and the ability to empathize with people other than themselves. So I hear you and I understand and I send you love. So I'm glad that I was able to be a sort of a safe haven and a place for you to come and hang out. So love to you, Aaron. Miss Wicked Wolf, I love watching. Oh, sorry. There's also, let's see. Duval, thank you for the super chat. Love you. That's, I appreciate it. Anything else of the Godzilla franchise? Love, hate. Generally, I really like it. I will say I'm not the biggest in the know of Godzilla. I think I've only seen like the original Japanese film, like the very first Godzilla film, which was great, and then all of the American ones. So like the Matthew Broderick one, and then the ones that the like more recent ones as well. Which I've all generally liked. I love kaiju movies. I love like big monster movies. Any movie with a big monster makes me very happy, especially when it's taken very realistically. I didn't love the first Godzilla movie in like the new continuity, but I liked this new one that just came out like last year or whatever. I thought that one was fun. It still was kind of blah for me. It wasn't Pacific Rim, which I adored Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim was like the right amount of like takes itself seriously, but then takes itself way too seriously, kind of melding for me. So that is so I generally think Godzilla is a great series. I also know probably the Japanese movies are probably much more targetedly political and deep. I do want to watch Shin Godzilla. I haven't seen Shin Godzilla, but I really am curious about that. So it's a bit of a blind spot in my filmography, but I from what I've seen, I enjoy them. But it's just not one that I have the most breadth of knowledge on. And I also will say, Miss Wicked Wolf, thank you for your compliments on the What the Frel podcast. I really appreciate that. For those of you who don't know, I do a Farscape rewatch podcast with Council of Geeks called What the Frel. So that's so if you want to dig back into Farscape, we have a lot of fun there. So I just want to say thank you, Miss Wicked Wolf. I really appreciate that. I actually really like the second. I'm one of those folks who like weirdly still like the second Pacific Rim. What was it? Uprising, I believe it was called. It just needed another draft. It was Pacific Rim 2 is one of those movies that's like, I can see this is a good movie in my opinion. I think it's a good movie where it's frustrating as you watch it because you can see the great movie in there. There's like stuff where it's like, if you just rejiggered a few things and like really make the character arc shine a little bit more, like really make make the character arcs just a little bit better, and it's all there, then it would really make it a great movie. And it's one of those like, oh, you were just like a few more drafts away from it. It's like you have all the pieces. Like the character arcs are good, the characters are interesting, the setup's interesting, the character arcs are okay. Like you can see, but you can see if they just polished it up a little bit more, it could be so good. And sometimes those movies are the most frustrating because it's like, oh, you're this close. And sadly, it just doesn't hit the mark. Do you think they would make a next gen movie in the Kelvin timeline? I don't know. I don't know if they'll ever do a Kelvin. I mean, I would like them to. It would be kind of interesting. I really don't know. I mean, I have ideas of what I would want to do as a Star Trek show, but what I would wish they would do if I was in charge of Star Trek right now. In terms of like a big movie thing that I would do, but I don't know if it's sellable. I don't know if it would be the most sellable thing in the world. You could. This is what I would do. The thing, I have my pitch for a TV show. If I was going to do a Star Trek TV show, it'd be Star Trek The West Wing. That would be my show. I would just do a show following the Federation president dealing with that sort of stuff, and I have ideas for how that story would go. That's my pitch for a Star Trek show. But if I was going to pitch something like kind of fun and crazy, it would be a movie, but it would be a streaming movie, because I don't know if you could sell this movie necessarily as like a big screen film. Like you sell it as like the marquee, like you go out to theaters to see this movie. I would pitch this as like the thing that you would get people to go on to CBS All Access for, because this is a big event movie. But I would do it and have like a big crossover movie. Get as many as fits in the script, but as natural as can. Get as many of the Next Generation era people in there. Get Janeway back. Get Picard in there. And maybe Cisco coming back as the impetus for it. That's actually how I would write it, but I don't know if you could get Avery Brooks at this point. But get every single Next Generation era character that you could, and just like do a big movie blowout with all of them. In fact, I would just do like Star Trek Destiny. If anyone's read the Star Trek Destiny books, I would just riff off of that, because then you could even tie in Star Trek Enterprise in there too, and get Scott Bakula in there as well. That would actually be fantastic. That is actually what I would do. It'd be like a big movie. It'd wrap up the Borg plot line. So you'd be like, all right, we're done with the Borg. This is going to be the last big Borg thing, and it's going to be this big blowout event. Bring back all the TNG era cast, and we'll tie it into the Enterprise era as well with the Destiny stuff. I would just replace, no offense to the NXO to Columbia, which is the main ship in this, right? I would just replace it with Archer's Enterprise, just so you could bring back Scott Bakula. So take the Destiny books, replace the Columbia with the Enterprise, so you can get the NXO-1 crew back in there. Maybe it takes place right before these other voyages, so you can still have Trip in there and all that stuff. And then tie it into the TNG era where they're like, the Borg are invading, and it's the last gasp of the Borg, and the Federation's on the edge, and you got to get all the captains and all the crews back together to try and take on the Borg for one last time. And if you could get Avery Brooks back, I don't know if that's possible anymore, but if you could get Avery Brooks back, that's how it actually started off, with like Avery Brooks being like, yeah, we get the Borgs, I'm back, and the Borg are gonna come, or something like that. That would be what I would do. I don't know how you. See, that's the thing, is like, I don't know if you could sell it as like a big marquee theater movie. I would do it as a movie or a miniseries, because it's one of those, like, I don't know, like Picard definitely has that pull, maybe Janeway too, but Picard definitely has the pull to be like, oh, if you make a Picard movie, you could get people to go out and see the Picard movie. But I don't know if there's like enough like general wide audience interest in like Deep Space Nine and Voyager, and definitely not Enterprise. No offense, it's my favorite show, but no offense to it. Like doing that big crossover, you're just not going to get people to go out. It's just not going to be a box office seller. But I think it could sell as a streaming movie. I just don't know if you could budget it to make sense and get all those cast members back, because I'm sure they'd want some ridiculous price to be able to get them all back. So yeah, I mean, that's what I would pitch, and just have that be like, because I feel like Star Trek Picard is a great continuation. I think like as much problems as I have with the show, I'm glad that there's like a continuation of the Next Generation era in that story. Lower Decks does that too as well, to a degree, but Picard is like more like the actual continuing the narrative of the Star Trek timeline, and Discovery now too, but way off in the future. But I feel like we as fans it would be a very fan servicey thing to do. And I don't necessarily think selling a movie just based on fan service is always a great idea, but I feel like doing it as like this one big event that's like, all right, this is going to be the end of the Next Generation era. Like, we're going to do this big era, this big movie thing, and it's going to say goodbye to, it's going to be a way for you to say goodbye to all the characters that you love. And after that point, we could still do stories in the Next Generation era, like Lower Decksy kind of stuff, but that is sort of like our goodbye to that sort of era of storytelling. I think that would be a lot of fun. So, yeah, it would be exactly Geek Filter. It would be like CW's Crisis. That would be my pitch. Like a general, like, I don't have any specific plot beats, but if I was gonna like pitch a general concept, that would be it. But if anyone asks me, if anyone like says, hey, here's your Star Trek show, it would be I would want a West Wing Star Trek show. So that would be my pitch for that. So, anyways, everybody. Enough of me ranting. I think it is about time for me to say peace, so I can go make some dinner, get some food in me, and just say I just bid you all adieu. As I said earlier, I know that this time of year, especially for people, all of us in the United States, but I know around the world it's not an exclusive feeling, but especially here in the United States, especially with the holiday tomorrow, Thanksgiving here in the United States, it's a rough time. I know a lot of us aren't able to be with our families right now. I mean, I can't be either. My grandfather just passed away a few weeks ago, unfortunately, and I would very much wish I could be with my family right now, but unfortunately I cannot. And so I feel that isolation and worry that everyone else is feeling. So just remember tomorrow, if you all are feeling isolated tomorrow, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It's a little bit distant. We still got to stay the course. We still got to keep doing what we're doing and doing all the pandemic-y safe stuff. But we're almost there. And so keep that in mind. and we're in this together. I'm in this with you. You're in this with everyone else here. So just let's hold together. And like I said, I've been having up and down mental health stuff too over the past 2 weeks, between burnout and my grandfather dying and stuff. So it's rough. I get it. So I'm saying this mostly for myself too, not just all of you. But we can do this. Light at the end of the tunnel. And thank you. I saw some people giving some thanks out there in the condolences for my grandfather. I really appreciate that. It does mean a lot. And thank you, Savory Lemon. Thank you for the super chat. That heart is for you. Thanks for the congratulations and the like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff. I appreciate that. Last thing that I will mention before I go and before I close out the stream, if you are feeling isolated and you are feeling kind of lonely, as Geek Filter kind of alluded to in the chat there, this Friday, it's going to be on twitch.tv/outpost13, right, Geek Filter? Let me know in the chat, Geek Filter, what the Twitch chat is. But this Friday, a bunch of us Star Trek YouTubers are going to be doing a Treksgiving, kind of a 3-hour hangout over on Twitch. I know Kurt Ratz is going to be there. I believe Ket Walsh is going to be there. I need to double check on that, but I believe Ket Walsh is going to be there. Steve Shives is going to be there. I'm going to be there. A few other folks will be there. So it should be a lot of fun. So it'll be a 3-hour stream. People will be popping in and out. We'll all be talking Trek, and it'll be kind of an unstructured sort of hangout sort of thing. It should be fun. So if you're feeling isolated, please come hang out with all of us. It should be a good time. I know I'm going to need it. So it should be good. So thank you, everybody, for all your kindness, all your generosity, and for helping me get to 26K this week is fantastic. It's going to be on YouTube. Thank you, Geek Filter. So it'll be over on YouTube. I'll share the link. Keep an eye on my community tab, and I'll share the link out before it goes up. So just keep your Thursday free if you want to hang out, or Friday free, excuse us, for that. But regardless, you are all beautiful people. Thank you so much for all that. Geek Filter, if you have the link, can you share the link in the chat? I'll keep vamping for a little bit until you get that link in there. Let me see if I can find it myself real quick. Just going to randomly talk until Geek Filter, you're keeping me on the line, you jerk. Sorry to make you do work. Hopefully you're not in the middle of something. I'm going to try and find this link myself for all of you. Let's see. Geek Filter, looking up your Twitter so I can get the link here. TrekAlliance.org, is that the website? Is that what you're doing? Oh, thank you very much, Sarah Sweeney. I really appreciate that. 26K. You are absolutely amazing. I really appreciate that. Sending you love. I really, really appreciate that. I can't find the link. Geek Filters failed me. So just keep it'll keep an eye on either my Twitter if you want to. I'll definitely be sharing out the link there. I'll also be sharing on the community tab on YouTube. So and if you go to trekalliance.org, I'll put that right here, trekalliance.org. I just put that in the chat. Keep an eye out there. And that is where you can sort of get a heads up on that. But come hang out on Friday. And I hope everyone has fun. And I love you all, and thank you. And thank you again, Sarah. I really appreciate that final super chat there. Sorry that I'm kind of logging off as you gave the super chat, but thank you. All right. Love you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and goodbye.